Can you believe these things were in an absolute junk pile? They absolutely came out perfect. 1939 Harley Davidson knuckleheads a year ago. Nobody would have expected these would have been rebuildable, and here they are ready to bolt on the bike. Huge day right here at Wheels Through Time. We've been working on the 1939 Harley Davidson, and today is the day we're going to make this thing look like and act like a motorcycle. So as you guys can see, huge amount of progress to this point. This motorcycle, actually I found it in northern Indiana, completely taken apart, preserved just as it was. The thing sat since 1975, 76, completely taken apart. The bike was in a fire. The bike transported 2, 3, 4 different locations. Everything stayed together. I got a phone call about this machine, made my way straight up to Greentown, Indiana, just to the east of Kokomo, and picked this motorcycle up. So it's been about a year and a half, and here we are. The motorcycle is nearing completion. So 1939 Harley Davidson EL knucklehead, 61 cubic inch, really one of the most beautiful of all the motorcycles, and a very rare bike at that. So all the pre-war stuff, guys, rare as it gets, and of course knuckleheads are a lot of folks' favorites. So what we're doing today, guys, is we're going to be installing the heads on this motorcycle and actually kicking it over for the very first time. So last time you guys caught up with us, we welded the gas tank back. As you guys can see, it's rusting just perfectly. Got them sealed up and everything's in good shape. So we're going to set the gas tanks out of the way, get straight to work, bolting on the heads, installing the push rods, exhaust, and hopefully in just a couple of short minutes, you guys are going to see us kicking this thing over for the very first time. Okay guys, so everything for the top end right here, and again, so much work has gone into where this motorcycle is at right now. I've had this top end covered up for probably about a month now, entirely rebuilt up to this point, leaving the exterior patinaed. So I've got fresh brand new pistons installed, I think it was what, say 40 over, 40 thousandths of an inch over, fresh perfect bore, clean crosshatch. These things are going to bolt right on these heads. Now I don't know if you guys remember, one of the things we had to deal with on this head was that it had a broken diving board. Now these heads, by most people's standards, looked pretty rough. By my standards, I think they're just about perfect with a little bit of work. So as you guys can see, there are no broken fins on these heads. So cosmetically, the head casting itself is absolutely beautiful. It's got that couple year only small port with the boss right here. Early style for the early style intake manifold. All the threads are perfect. You can see hemispherical combustion chamber. Knucklehead was Harley Davidson's first twin cylinder hemispherical head. I had new valve seats installed by my guys when they were welding up the diving board there. Fresh kibble white valves. These things are going to bolt right on. So huge amount of work to get to this point, and today is the day. Oh no. Oh yeah. Okay, I like to use silver metallic paint. Some guys use copper coat to coat the gaskets. Just acts as a little bit better of a sealant, and this will allow us to get both of those heads tightened down. Now there is a fire ring which also helps with the 61 cubic inch engines. The fire rings, that little ring right around the top of the cylinders, and it helps to locate the head on there, but it also incidentally helps, as long as your head bolts are down tight, helps to keep from head gaskets leaking. So what we're going to do is install both heads and tighten the head bolts down with the manifold on. What that's going to do is allow us to make sure that we're squared up just like we're supposed to be. So the head bolt pattern is oriented in such a way that the gasket only goes on one way. The head only goes on, of course, one way. What we do is install each head and then tighten the bolts down with both heads installed And what that allows us to do is to square up the manifold. Making sure there are no leaks in the intake system is incredibly crucial on any engine, period. Pretty primitive setup on these engines, guys. Intake manifold, plumber nuts on each side. There's actually a brass seal that butts up against the intake nipple itself. So what we'll do is install the manifold, make sure that it's squared up tight, squared up right, and then draw the head bolt. The head bolts themselves down against the gasket to tighten the heads up. Now, as you guys can see, there's a little wiggle still on each head, which is exactly what we want. And we're gonna go ahead and put the manifold on. Well, we got a little bit of distance each way. We're just gonna snug it a little bit. Make sure that those brass intake ferrules are drawn up against the heads to be square, but still loose enough to move as we do draw the heads up. So that manifold will hang right in place. Oh man, and they're just bolting up perfectly. Yeah, you can feel that thing start to draw up against the gasket. Yeah, good deal. All right, Dunzo. Top motor mount, original. Hardly even cleaned this thing up. It's still got the grease and the grime on it. Original motor mount bolt. Huh. It's such a good fit. Incredible. The cotter pin bent over. Next is push rod, guys. So y'all have seen it a million times. Make sure the valve's down. Spin this thing over. Oh God, this is the first time we've moved the engine. You can hear that compression. Make sure the valve's down. We do intakes first because they're on the inside, and then onto the exhausts. It's one of my favorite tools that my dad made. Screwdriver that he actually carved a divot in there, or a groove in, and with these 61 cubic inch motors, a lot of the times guys will install the push rods when they put the heads on. Being that we're not on the bench, I didn't do it that way. So what you've got to actually do is put the bottom of that push rod right in the groove there, and see if you can raise the valve. So you bring the valve spring up, and then you knock it in. Bada bing, bada boom. That one slides right in. Okay. We're looking for a light roll there. So you just want the tiniest little bit of resistance. Solid lifters. So by the time you get to pan heads, you've got hydraulic push rods and hydraulic lifters. All of that stuff adjusts differently. With these, you just want the adjustment to be no up and down, and just a slight resistance to rolling the push rod with your fingers. So on to the last one. We'll be on to the carburetor. Okay. All original, everything on this bike. Nuts, bolts, washers. I mean, you're talking original overhead valve oil line, original push rod clips. Just a couple years only they use these stainless pieces up top. These things always get lost. The push rod clips, the lowers, ultra rare stuff if you're looking for just the parts. Lucky for us, this whole thing came together. So yeah, nuts, bolts, everything about this bike is really exactly what it's supposed to be. Oddly enough, as crusty as it is, it'll probably be one of the most correct bikes that I've ever restored, because it all came together. So on to the carburetor, guys. We should be bolting this carb on. Now, last show, I think you guys might have caught up with us. Might have been during the to restore or not to restore show, and we actually showed these rebuilt linkered carburetors over on the bench. 1936 to 9 Harley Davidson used on their overhead valve models, the M5 carburetors. So M5 today, incredibly rare carburetor. If you got one sitting in your garage, call me up because I can always use them. And what we're gonna do is get this thing installed. I've rebuilt this thing again with almost all original parts. So I have a new float, and I think that's it. Original Venturi, maybe some screws, the needle and seat, which is always a high wear item on bikes. You find the old carburetors, a lot of times guys go right to replacing the needle and seat. This one was good. So very lucky scenario. Fully rebuilt, float set to the proper height. Ah, perfect. Okay. Inch nut, carb support bracket fits perfectly, no grinding required. 1/2 inch nut reinstalled to finish up the top of the support bracket to the float bowl. And oh man, now the next part hadn't been on the table. I've been waiting months to do this. I've had my eye on it forever. One of those once in a lifetime parts. Now, I always call this my gingerbread shelf over here. There's a ton of incredibly rare stuff all over the shelf. Bunch of great memories finding a lot of this stuff. Some pics of my dad. You guys know the squash birds. Right here is one of my favorite parts, and I've been saving this just for this project. It's a 1936 to 9 air cleaner. So such a rare part, and it's one of the pieces that's absolutely going to set this bike apart from the rest. So early on, motorcycles didn't even have air cleaners. Really primitive setup. You can just imagine dusty dirt roads, primitive carburation, hence the need for loose tolerances. Engine life not nearly what it is today, and freshly Parkerized air cleaner cover. Yeah, engine life not what it is today. With the introduction of the knucklehead, it was right about the same time that Harley Davidson started developing air cleaner technology. So the 6-inch Harley Davidson air cleaner in 36, I believe, was even an accessory. In 37, it became standard. 38, 39, retain that small 6-inch type. And then in maybe 1940 or 41, with the onset of the 74 cubic inch engine, they increased the size of that air cleaner to 7 inches. So, yep. So the air cleaner element itself, we'll go ahead and install later. I just got to get a look at this because I've been waiting so long. Oh my gosh. So this part, believe it or not, is one of the few pieces that did not come with this bike. And I gotta be honest, man, I don't think it could match any better. You know, it would have been chrome plated. You can see where it's been scuffed around here, but it's still got the original Harley Davidson stamp. The original, look at this, the original tag. Every 2,000 miles or oftener, under dusty conditions, remove mesh pack, wash in gasoline, dip in oil, drain, and reassemble. Beautiful, and it fits so good. The ears are perfect. Oh my God. It's everything I was hoping it was going to be, man. So huge amount of progress, guys. Heads, push rods, carburetor, air cleaner. Let's go ahead and knock out the exhaust real fast, and then we'll have this bad boy on the run. Okay, guys, so these are the parts that we have left for this motorcycle. Not a ton of stuff. A few coils. I've got the original Speedo. This is the original exhaust. So I'm not even going to clean this stuff up. Tough to find knucklehead exhaust. This is a whole complete unit. Now, one of the really cool things, it did not have the muffler with it. So this is actually a 1936 to 39 Harley Davidson muffler that my pal Matt Olson, Carl Cycle Supply in South Dakota, actually made this up for me. So I called Matt. He's a knucklehead guy through and through. Him and his dad do some of the best work. I know you heard us talk about him before. So Matt makes a reproduction muffler that is absolutely spot on and perfect. So I called Matt and we started drumming ideas up of what was going to be perfect for this bike. So the fishtail, actually, I had a new old stock fishtail. So this was hanging on the wall right over there. There's actually another one sitting right up on the wall. This was mine right here at the museum. Also had the saddle here for the Y pipe, or the front part of the Y pipe. Matt makes an absolutely perfect center and the two collars here. So this is identical to the T of the original 1936 to 36 to 39 Harley Davidson mufflers. As you can imagine, it was one of the first things to rot out. They didn't last. They got changed. So now we've got something fresh and new to install. Oh, look at a beautiful fit. Wow, dude, it fits amazing. Dude, that's the best fitting exhaust. I think that's the best fitting exhaust that I've ever assembled. We're gonna go ahead and bolt the gas tanks back on, store them where they go, and see if we can get a final look exactly how this motorcycle is going to run down the road. Oh boy. Wow, it looks like a whole different bike with those heads on. All right. Oh man. Some general hookups. God, it's got the look. Where'd that dash go? Old chrome dash. Perfect fit. So, a few more things, guys. We're getting really close. This is more exciting every day. Just a few things to get this bike running the part. It's looking the part. Right now is the first time we're gonna actually be dropping this bike down from the lift, get a look at it on the ground, and looking at this bike from a whole new angle. Now I got one more thing. One of the finishing touches. I don't know if it's too early for finishing touches or not. No, it's never too early for finishing touches. The seat, absolutely incredible. The seat recovered, believe it or not. This seat is an original pan, unvented solo seat pan, 1930, maybe 32 to 39, recovered by a good pal of mine, Jason Sheets. He does the most incredible work. I mean, you take a look at this seat and never imagine in a million years that it was recovered. So 1939, like rhino grain style, matches the bags. It's one of the things that we've been looking forward to the most, guys, is setting off those saddlebags. Now, I stared at it for a while, man, and I really couldn't decide if I was into the bags or not. I mean, I absolutely love them. Were they right for this bike or not? I just didn't know. I can't tell. I've been looking forward to bolting this seat on to see if it completes the look. So I don't know what you guys think. If you got thoughts on it, make sure you leave a comment. Should we take them off? Should we leave them on? Original conchos. I gotta sit on it. Make sure you tune in with us, guys. Next time we're going to be finishing this bike, firing it up for the first time, putting it back underneath its own power, just as the founders of Harley Davidson intended. We'll catch up with you next time. Oh, wow. Good compression on one. Whoo! Yeah. That is one smooth engine.